All right. $1 million net worth. We're tackling it.
Sounds a little intimidating, right?
Maybe for some. But this deep dive, it's not about being intimidated.
More about a roadmap, you think?
Exactly. A roadmap anyone can use. Like, we're going to break it down, make it exciting even.
I like that. Exciting. It's true, though. $1 million? It can seem impossible.
Totally. But we've got Shirang Nadkarni. He's this financial expert. And get this, he actually did it.
Reached $1 million net worth, you mean?
Yeah. We're diving into his podcast episode. He shared his whole journey.
I'm listening. So what's the secret sauce? What do you say?
Okay, so it's not about just saving a little here and there. It's about mindset.
Mindset, huh? Like thinking differently about money.
Exactly. It's about the long game. It's about, get this, compounding.
Compounding. That's where your money makes more money, right?
Yes. Like you invest some money, it earns interest.
Right. But then
that interest starts earning interest too.
I see. It keeps building on itself.
Yeah. Like a snowball, just getting bigger and bigger.
Okay, I'm getting the picture. So how does this actually work? Like in real life?
Okay, Nadkarni gives this great example. Say like an average family making $60,000 a year.
Right, 60,000.
Yeah.
Then there's taxes, of course.
Yeah, let's say they're in California. 10,000 in taxes.
So that leaves 50,000. Okay, I'm following.
Now, what if they invested 9,000 of that every year?
9,000 every year. That's a decent chunk.
It is. But in 26 years, guess what?
26 years. They'd have $1 million.
Over $1 million.
Wow. That's pretty incredible.
Right. But of course, the market, it's not always smooth sailing.
Yeah, there are going to be ups and downs. That's investing, right?
For sure. But that's where long-term thinking comes in.
So you're not trying to time the market or anything like that?
Nope. Just riding those waves, letting compounding do its thing.
Okay, that makes sense. So it sounds like the first step is, what? Understanding your own finances.
Exactly. Nadkarni says you got to track 4 things. Net worth.
Net worth, okay. What else?
Monthly expenses, your income, and how your investments are doing.
So it's like getting a clear picture of your whole financial situation.
Yeah, like a financial snapshot.
A snapshot.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So then you can see where you can make changes.
Right. And Nadkarni, he suggests using tools like spreadsheets, those financial apps.
Oh, yeah, there are some really good ones out there. Makes it so much easier to keep track of everything.
They really do. Okay, now that you've got that snapshot, it's budget time.
Budget time. The dreaded B word. A lot of people hear that and, they freak out.
I know, right? But it's not about deprivation. It's about choices. Deciding what matters to you.
Yeah, prioritizing. Like maybe cutting back on some things so you can have more of other things.
Exactly. Nadkarni says aim for at least 15% of your income for saving and investing.
15%? That's a good goal. But even starting smaller, like with 5%.
Absolutely. It's all about those little steps, those consistent habits, like training for a marathon,
That's a good analogy. You don't just start running 26 miles on day 1, do you?
Definitely not. Okay, so Nadkarni's a big fan of something called dollar cost averaging.
Dollar cost averaging. Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
But explain it, like, in simple terms.
So you invest the same amount regularly, no matter what the market is doing.
So even when things are going crazy, you just keep going?
Yep. It's like Zen investing. No emotions, just steady progress.
Interesting. So you're not trying to predict the market or anything?
Nope. And studies show dollar cost averaging often does better than trying to time the market anyway.
Makes you wonder why more people don't do it, huh? Okay, so consistency is key.
Yeah.
But we got to check in with our investments, right?
Definitely.
What?
Like a car tune-up, right? Make sure everything's running smooth. Nadkarni recommends once a year.
Yeah, once a year makes sense. See how you're doing, if you need to make any changes.
Right. And remember, life happens. Things change. We got to adapt.
Totally. Getting married, having kids, buying a house, all that stuff can impact your finances.
Absolutely. And the financial world itself, it's always changing too.
Tax laws, the market, all of it. It's like you got to keep learning, keep updating your knowledge.
It's a lifelong journey for sure. And it's not just about hitting that $1 million,
No, it's about freedom. Control.
Yeah. Making choices that align with what you want. So take a second, think about it. What does financial freedom mean to you?
We'll be right back to explore that more. But first, take some time to really think about it. What does it look like? What does it feel like?
Welcome back. So did you think about it? What does financial freedom mean for you?
It's a big question, isn't it?
It is. But it's important, right? Like, why are we doing all this anyway?
Exactly. It's got to be about more than just the numbers.
Right. Okay, let's get back to those practical things we can actually DO.
Those key metrics.
Yeah. Net worth, expenses, income, investment returns.
Like getting a financial x-ray.
Yeah.
Seeing what's really going on.
Right. Can be a little scary, though, sometimes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But you know, they say knowledge is power.
So true. And Nod Carney, he talks about this thing. Seeing your net worth grow, even a little bit, it's motivating.
It's like, a little sprout. Tiny at first. Then it starts to grow.
I love that analogy. Okay, so consistent care, like budgeting.
Budgeting, I know. Doesn't sound very fun.
Right. But it's so important. Nod Carney says shoot for that 15% savings rate.
15%. That's ambitious.
It is. But remember, even 5% is better than nothing.
Totally. And it's about building those habits, right?
Yeah.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be all about, giving of everything you enjoy.
No. More about being intentional.
Okay.
Aligning your spending with what you care about.
Exactly. Like maybe you skip that daily latte a couple times a week.
Or pack your lunch instead of eating out all the time.
Yeah, little things add up. And there are tons of different budgeting methods.
Oh, yeah, you got to find what works for you, right? Like a pair of jeans.
Yeah. Yes. Gotta find the right fit. Okay, so dollar cost averaging. We talked about that.
Makes investing kind of automatic, right?
It does. Takes the emotion out of it. Because let's be honest, the market, it can be a roller coaster.
Oh, yeah, totally. Ups and downs all the time. You never know what's next.
Dollar cost averaging, it's like you just buckle up and ride it out.
Keeps you from making those impulsive decisions, when the market dips and you're like, oh no.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, it actually can help you buy more when prices are low.
Makes sense. Buying low, selling high, right. That's the goal.
Exactly. But even with this hands-off approach, we gotta check in sometimes, right?
Yeah. Course correct. If needed. Life happens.
Right. Nod Carney suggests a yearly checkup, like for your finances.
A financial physical. I like that.
Make sure everything's still aligned with your goals.
And, goals change. Life changes.
For sure.
Yeah.
You might get married, have a baby, buy a house.
All big things that can impact your financial plan.
You got it. And the financial world itself, it's always changing. Tax laws, the market.
It's like you got to keep learning. Keep up with the latest trends.
Right. Continuous learning is key. It's not just about hitting that $1 million mark.
It's about feeling confident.
Yeah.
In control.
Yeah. Knowing you can handle whatever comes your way. So what have you learned so far?
What are you taking away from all this?
Think about that, and when we come back, we'll talk about some of the non-financial aspects of building wealth. Those are important too. We're back, ready for the final stretch of our $1 million journey.
Did you have some time to reflect, like we asked?
Hopefully, because now we're getting into the really interesting stuff.
The why behind the what.
Exactly. Like money, it's just a tool, right?
It is. So what are we going to do with it? That's the question.
Okay, so Nod Carney, he talks about this. Having a vision for your financial freedom, like what will you actually do with it?
It's like setting a destination before you start driving.
Yeah. If money wasn't a thing, what would you be doing?
Traveling the world, maybe? Starting a business.
Right. Or just spending more time with the people you love.
It's about figuring out what matters to you. And then using your money to make it happen.
I like that. And you know what else? Nod Carney says this. You got to work on your mindset, too.
Mindset? Like, what do you mean?
Like self-discipline, patience, things like that.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Because building wealth, it's not always easy.
No, it's not. There are going to be challenges, setbacks.
Exactly. And if you're not mentally prepared, it's easy to, give up.
Right. It's like you need a strong foundation for your mind and your money.
Love that analogy. Because if you don't believe you can do it, you probably won't.
So true. So, as we wrap things up here, remember this. Achieving financial freedom, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Small steps, consistency, patience. That's the key.
Exactly. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. There are so many resources out there.
Books, podcasts, financial advisors. Find what works for you.
And never forget, financial freedom, it's not just about the money.
It's about living a life you love, a life that feels meaningful.
So keep dreaming big, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself.
You got this. And that's our deep dive into building $1 million net worth. We hope you enjoyed it.
And more importantly, we hope it inspired you to take action. Start today, even if it's just a small step.
You can do it. Thanks for joining us.